Good afternoon. Um, my name is Abiola, and our topic for this project is enhancing financial capability and capital access for SMEs in Nigeria. We chose our case study to be in Nigeria, and my group members are Atma Ahmed, Aranda Ushima Amaya. Next slide. Introduction. The objectives of those topics are it enhances SMEs financial literacy and capital access in Nigeria using OECD frameworks. Why we chose Nigeria? 41%, 41 million SMEs, 45% facing financial gaps. That is for IFC 2024, which is already stated on the country's map. We have a financial gap 45% financial gap in Kano, 45% financial gap in Abuja, and 45% financial gap in Lagos. Then the 41 million SME and 45%, that's for that's what IFC 2024 says. Then the target audience are Nigerian policymakers, financial institution, SME support organization. Theoretical frameworks, resource-based view RBV for capability, institutional theory for regulation, Barnes 1991 and Scott 2014. Analytical frameworks, Portal's Diamond model assesses Nigeria's SMEs competitive environment. That's for Portal 1990. Constraints identification approach analyzes financial regulatory barriers. That's for World Bank 2024. Solution Development Framework, Design Policy Intervention for SMEs Growth, 2018. Focus, Financial Literacy, Funding Barriers, Inclusive Financial for Women and Rural SMEs. Next slide. Importance of SMEs. SMEs has 41 million businesses. That is 48% of employment, 84% of employment and 48% of GDP, CBN 2024. Key roles: drive job creation, poverty alleviation, 35% of exports. That's for Sustainable Development Goals 1 and 8, United Nations 2015. Challenges: the challenges are limited financial literacy, capital access hinders growth, IFC 2024. Economic impacts are underperforming SMEs, they reduces tax revenue, exports and innovation. Global relevance enhances Nigerian trade competitiveness, BELEC 2005. The SME contribution to GDP and employment, Nigeria versus emerging markets, which is stated on the graph above. That's for IFC 2024. We can see the employment contribution and the GDP contribution type in this graph. For Nigeria, the GDP is at 50%, and for the contribution is at 40%, while the employment rate for Nigeria is 80.2%, 84%, while the contribution is at 70%. Next slide. Consequences for financial barriers. Limited expansions, SMEs unable to scale or enter new markets, IAM 2015. High closure rates, 35% fails within 3 years due to cash flows issues, IFC 2023. Economic stagnation reduces job exports GDP growth, CBN 2024. Inequitable women/rural SMEs faces the appropriate barriers, SMEs Finance Forum 2020. Innovation gaps, limited investment in technology, RD, Eniola, and Entebon 2015. Causes of the SMEs failure in Nigeria. We have cash flow, finances, and others. You can see the cash flow has an higher percent. The finance has another higher percent, while the one that has a limited percentage is the others. Now I'm passing the next, my colleague will take up from here on the next slide. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Orshadi, and let's start by looking at the real-world consequences of financial barriers facing Nigerian SMEs. First, many SMEs struggle to grow or expand due to lack of financing they can scale to enter new market. In fact, a staggering 35% of Nigerian SMEs failing within their first 3 years large due to cash flow problems. This leads to economic stagnation. Without thriving SMEs, job creation slows, export decline, and the GDP suffers. And these challenges are eventually distribute the women and rural entrepreneurs facing disproportionate barriers limiting the both equality and innovation. With limited investment to technology and R&D, we are seeing serious innovation gap across the sector. Next slide. Now, to understand the depth of this problem, we need to look at the historical context. SME financial issues in Nigeria have proceeded since the 1990s. Over this year, borrowing costs have remained high, credit and the access being limited. Despite effort, the agencies like SMETAN and the Central Bank of Nigeria impact has been only practically effective. Meanwhile, the OECD has the Upward Financial Retreat framework since 2005, but the Nigeria has lagged in adopting them. Today, we are still at the point where 45% of SMEs facing barriers. This means the problem is systemic and unresolved. Next slide. This brings us to the role of international frameworks. The OECD has developed the Digital Financial Literacy Program that are scalable and cost-effective. This could work in Nigeria, must be adapted for local, especially rural contexts. The IFC has introduced the credit graduate schemes that reduce lending the risk of banks, something that could boost SME loans here. The EU SME programs combine training, funding access, result in 20% increase the loan approvals. And the World Bank emphasizes the improvement of policy from the microfinance. This global effective provide test adaptable modules for the us implement. Next slide, please. Finally, let's look at the wild matters of different stakeholders. For SME owners, better financial knowledge and access to funding translate to business growth. Government thriving SME means higher tax revenue and reduce relying to welfare programs. Bank and financial instruction benefits too. They can expand their loan profitability while managing risk better. Communities enjoy the job creation and improved services. While development organizations move closer to achieving sustainable development goals, especially SDG 8 decline work and the SDG 10 reduce inequalities. So it's not just an economic implement, it's the shared national opportunities. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Anuradha and my student ID is 230770042, and I am introducing the next slide, which is data insight on SME financing. Global financing gap 5.7 trillion pound and 45% of Nigerian SMEs affected in IFC 2024. Women owned SMEs is 40% of Nigerians financial gap, which is SME Finance Form 2020. And for this, bank loan assess is only 50% of SMEs use banks for investment in CBN 2024. And the financial literacy, 50% lack basic skills, traditional training ineffective, OECD 2016. The solution one for this problem is digital financial literacy program. First, we need to discuss the program. The program problem is so OECD inspired digital financial literacy platform for SMEs. And the cost for this solution is 15 million pounds annually, which is including government and IFSC funding. And the detail of this problem solution is online training on budgeting, loan applications for 50,000 SMEs, localized for rural areas. And the impact of the solution of digital financial literacy program is 20% increase in loan approvals, better financial management in OECD 2018. And the implementation for this solution one, which is digital financial literacy program, is partnered with SME DN digital platform like Flutterwaves. Now I'm moving to the problem solution two, which is microfinance expansion. The program for the solution two is scale up microfinance with 16 million pounds IFSC investments. And the detail for the solution is low interest loans, which is 6 to 9% only, and the simplified processes for women and the rural SMEs. And the target for this microfinance expansion is reach 100,000 SMEs, which create 200,000 jobs in 3 years only, which is IFSC 2023. Let's talk about the implementation for this solution two is partner with microfinance bank CBN, and the complements of OECD is for financial literate SMEs with capital in OECD 2018. Now moving to the solution number three, which is regulatory reform. Reform simplify lending regulations, national credit guarantee scheme, and the cost for the solution number three, which is regulatory reform, is 5 million pounds, which is government funded only. And the detail for this is reduce collateral requirements, streamline process, World Bank 2024. And the impact of this regulatory reform is 15% increase in SME loan approval for 5,000 SMEs IFSC 2024. And the implementation is collaborate with CBN and IFSC. And this chart is shown comparison of current versus proposed SMEs lending regulations. This is divided in three aspects: current regulation and proposed regulations. And except is collateral requirements, process complexity, loan approvals. and the cost is 5 million pound, which is government funded only, and the impact is about 50,000 SMEs in IFSC 2024, and the implementation is CBN IFSC. And the benefit for the stakeholders for these solutions are SME owners, governments, financial institutions, communities, developed organizations. Let's talk about the SMEs owners. Improved skills access to funding, OECD 2018 and IFSC in 2024. Now moving to government, higher tax revenue, reduce welfare cost in CPN 2024. Let's talk about the financial institutes. Expanded SME portfolios, low risk backed ETAL 2005 only. And the communities is more jobs, better service, and the development organizations, which is the last part of the stakeholder benefit, is progress on SDGs 810 United Nations 2015. Now, next slides will discuss by the Astam Ahmed.
Good evening. My name is Ed Sham Ahmed. Now I'm going to represent the remaining part of my presentation, which is the implementation timeline. These slides explain the timeline and cost for 3-year plan 2025 to 2028 to help small businesses SMEs in Nigeria. Year by year plan. Year 1 2025 start a digital literacy platform to teach businesses skills, uh, test microfinance small loans into two cities, Lagos and Kano. Year 2 2026 expand microfinance across the whole country, make new rules to support small businesses better. Year 3 2027 check the result of the program, grow the parts that work well, money and funding. Total cost 80 million over 3 years. IFC's International Micro Corporations 16 million. Nigerian government 20 million. The timeline chart. The chart on the right show when each activity will happen during the 3 years. Each bar show how long each step takes. For example, the digital literacy platform start at the beginning and the ends in year one. Microfinance starts in year one into cities expand in year two and continues into year three. Regulatory change and impacts. Evaluation began in year two and continue into year three. Scaling the successful initiative begins into the last part of year three. Next slide, please. Conclusion. SMEs 41 million businesses, 48% GDP, 84% jobs, CBN 2024 digital literacy OECD 2028 2018 microfinance and reforms IFC 2024 outcomes 20% launch approvals and 200 jobs less inequality SDGs number one no poverty, it's decent work and 10 reduce inequality. Next fund pilot mentors. Next please. Next slide please. References. Key resources from the CBNI, FC, OECD, World Bank, and academics highlights the role of SMEs in the growth jobs, poverty reductions, importance of the finance, innovations, and digital skills. Support the microcredit, SME reforms, and digital strategies, alignment with the UNS SDGs for the Sustainable Development. These references back up the 200 jobs creation goals and propose SME solution. So this is the end of our presentation. Thank you.